Okay. So I think everything's good. I think. Except for the title, of course, because never get that right. Okay. So I need to listen to my voice, actually, to see if it's, like, better. No, it's not better. I'm mad. Whatever. Okay, well, I friended him on Discord. Okay. So now I'm probably gonna end up joining a call with him. And I'm kinda giddy right now, because it's like, I feel like an outsider. It's like going to someone's house that you've never been to. No, it's like going to someone's house that you don't know. It's kind of, ooh. But here I go. I'm going anyway.
All right.
Greetings.
Hello.
Okay, you are good if this is on stream, right?
Yeah,
Okay, cool. I'm streaming right now.
great.
If you would
So,
like, here's the link to it.
all right. And I pronounce your tag Arcadia, right?
Yeah.
All right. Are there any pronouns that you prefer before we begin?
He, him.
Okay. All right. Arcadia, what is it exactly that you want to take away from today's session?
Um, I think one of my biggest struggles is disadvantage. I air dodge way too much, and just
Okay.
like generally getting better at winning neutral are like the two main
Mm-hmm.
things.
Okay. Who do you play?
Lucas.
Anyone else or just Lucas?
Um, I mess with Link sometimes, but I've only ever played Lucas in bracket.
Okay. Um, how long are you looking to make this?
Just like an hour.
An hour? Okay. Do you want to go ahead and make a room or do you want me to do it?
I can do it.
All right. We'll set up with your preferred rule set, and right now for me it is 6:34. So once it's 7:34, we'll end off the session. Okay.
All right.
Great. I won't link you my um, PayPal until after the session to make sure that everything transpires properly.
Okay.
Okay,
The arena code is in the chat.
great. So how long have you been playing Ultimate?
Since launch.
Since launch. And you've been a Lucas main since launch too?
Yeah.
Let's see. Do you know how to do his fancy instant tether stuff, the rub snake things?
Yeah, I know double jump cancels air. I know PK fire wave bounces, and I can do like I'm kind of consistent with like the instant ledge grab thing, but that's about it.
So you're good at the technical stuff.
Yeah.
Do you have a set stage or is it random legal?
The rule set's random legal, but I have it chosen as PS2 right now.
Okay, you can choose PS2 and I'll go Town City for this.
Okay.
So one of the first things I want to do is I just want to play a match with you to see how you play out. And I want to personally observe you to tell you anything I see and how we can go about talking about neutral and disadvantage and improving on it.
All right. I went for it. I tried the up smash.
Yeah. Alright, right off the bat, I can already see a few things. What kind of player are you? Do you think yourself as more of a momentum-based player or more of a sit back?
Probably momentum. If it's like in bracket, a lot of times I get like super nervous if they build up like a solid lead. But like if
Mm-hmm.
I build up a lead, it's I feel a lot better. Like I'm calmer. It's like it's
Alright,
pretty
great.
difficult for me to sit back and relax when I'm at a disadvantage.
So you have an issue from playing from behind.
Hmm.
Have you content yourself with, your own personal strategies of like camping or, using a lot of PK fire, defensive tools like that, rope snake, fade backs?
Hmm.
Like, how do you usually play when you're in disadvantage? If you could, or not in disadvantage, but from a deficit, like percent lead or stock lead.
Um, when I'm at a deficit, a lot of times I just start like rushing in. Like I do a lot of short hop nairs and like sometimes like forward air and zair just to try to get a
Hmm.
combo going. I don't really wait for too much because like it's when I'm at a deficit, I'm just like, well, if I don't approach it and he's not because he's okay with running time because he's winning. So I take it upon myself to approach pretty much every time.
Okay, that's something that we'll need to work on because as Lucas, you do have a fair amount of tools to zone with and, combat that with. So I want you to try and find ways to implement them more. Like, give me a specific matchup. What's a hard matchup that you would find yourself in that situation?
Um, Probably like Game and Watch.
Okay. Well, from a Game and Watch's perspective, if they're camping you, they're probably going to want to keep away from you at all times, use a lot of chef, use a lot of their disjoints to keep you out, and use their bucket to either reflect things or absorb things. Mostly reflect. Yeah, I think it's all reflect since you have like all elemental based projectiles. So, in your case, you'd want to wait a little bit and focus on what they're doing. You need to pay attention more to your opponent and worry less about the time. You want to keep looking at the time so you don't lose track of it, but you don't want to stress it to the point of where you just go in and get thrown back for it. Because if you're going against Game & Watch and he understands your habits and that you're getting impatient, then you're going to get punished pretty hard for it. So, what I need you to do more is focus on your patience and non-overcommitting. Because I noticed a few times when we played just now, you did overcommit quite a bit, and that got you either killed or punished quite a bit. Because you can only push your advantage state so far, and you have to understand your boundaries and limits when you're doing that. Once you've pushed it far enough to the optimal like degree, then I want you to focus more on backing off and resetting neutral, which is something that we're going to work on today so that way you have a better state of mind when it comes to neutral as a whole. Do you know how to define neutral? Like if I asked you to define neutral for me, what would you tell
Um, the the phase of the game where neither player has an advantage or a disadvantage.
me? What
Is that
else?
right? Um, it's like pretty much not only where they don't have like either an advantage or disadvantage, but both players are trying to use like their tools to get a lead on someone that's like non-committal, like poke tools.
Right, right. That's the most important part. Understanding what tools are at hand. So like when you face a Game and Watch, they have to understand what tools you have against them, and you have to understand the tools they have against you. And you also have to understand your own individual tools to use against each other. Because if you don't understand one or the other, then you're at a heavy deficit. So, as long as you build more of a fundamental understanding of certain matchups and things that you have to deal with, and things of your own character's arsenal, then you'll already be in a much better spot. Like, let's go for example off of Lucas, right? You have a projectile that fades you back. You can move forward with it. You can wave bounce it. It's a double hit or multi hit, and it goes a pretty long way. It's safe. Not only that, but you have pretty good disjoints. You have multiple spike options. You have multiple combo trees. You have 3 kill throws. You have one of the best tethers in the game, if not the best, I believe. Incredible juggling up air, great nair, but you lack in range. You get edge guarded pretty hard by a lot of characters. Your disadvantage is not the best, Your airspeed is also not the best, and you're pretty light. So those are your main weaknesses, and there are more that you probably know about that I don't, since you're the Lucas player here and I'm not. But even though I told you earlier to push your advantage as much as you know you can and then back off, after the session's over, I want you to focus more on what your character's tools can do. So maybe there's more advantage that you can push or different things you can do in certain scenarios that you need to lab out. I want you to do this thing called shadow boxing. Shadow boxing is initially the thing where you kind of like put in your head scenarios all the time, like scenarios of things happening and trying to imagine how they would play out. Like for example, I'll be doing something random where I'll sit outside and thinking about Smash, and I'll be like, okay, well I'm playing Falcon in this scenario, and this Falcon runs off and he knees me, but my uppy trades it, so he air dodges by accident and I live. I know that that happens now. So next time when he's off stage, I'm gonna knee him, and when I trade, I'm gonna back air him because it was a true combo. And then I labbed it, and I checked it, and it was a real thing. It's been a thing since Smash 4, but I wanted to see if it was a thing in this game. Things like that, little scenarios, and then you can lab them out in training room, whatever mod you might have. You could do practice sessions with people of certain characters that you know, things like that. Just shadowboxing is a very important tool that a lot of people I know use. A lot of competitors I know, like Juice, Waidu, Griffin, Nixie. It's just putting yourself in scenarios that help build an understanding. And even if you're wrong about certain scenarios, it's fine. You might have a lead on others. So you don't have to be 100% accurate and right about everything that you think about. But if you can like kind of put yourself in positions where you don't know what to do and try and figure it out and dissect it and then get a better handle on how to deal with them, then it'll be much better for you fundamentally as a player. Another
Okay.
thing is your execution. Your execution seems fine, but I noticed that you get a little antsy at some points. Like you said, you are comfortable in certain points of the match, but I want you to try and find more comfort throughout the entire match. So whether you're in disadvantage, advantage, you're in the lead, not in the lead, I'm in the lead. Remember, as long as you have a stock, you can make any game count, and the game is not over until it's over, right?
Hmm.
So I want you to try as hard as you can, even if you have to play patient, you have to play lame, maybe, you have to zone, you have to camp, whatever it may be. I need you to focus on your priorities, which is winning the match, not about how you could get timed out. Because you could get timed out, but while you're worrying about getting timed out, you're already dead because you went in. You understand what I'm trying to tell you?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, good. So when it comes to your neutral tools as Lucas, do you understand? Like, what can you tell me about Lucas's neutral tools that you are aware of?
Um, forward air and up air are both safe on shield. Nair
Okay.
is safe if you cross it up, and you need to make sure that they're facing the right way when you cross it up. Because if they like turn around and like face like with their back to you, then crossing up, they'll grab you.
Right.
Um, I know that PK Fire is okay if you wave bounce it because there's like a lot of lag, and if you use it on the ground, you can like stay planted and use it for stage control. And
Mm-hmm.
pivot cancel F tilt is like super broken
Right.
because it's really big, and I'm pretty sure.
Kill kill confirms. You know anything about this?
Um, I know that down air, on like grounded down air spikes, if they're at high enough percent, you can just get a raw up air. But if they're like low enough to escape the up air, then you can
Mm-hmm.
read it and either go for like an F smash or an up smash or something. And
Yep.
down tilt combos into grab. So depending on where you are, you can throw. And I know that um you can like Nair leads into back air if they DI it wrong, or if you just like move to the side so that they pop out of the back.
Yeah.
I know those, and I know that moves like forward air and up air. Well, not up air so much, but like forward air wins a lot of last hit, last stock scenarios because it's disjointed and safe in kills.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Good. So you're aware of your neutral options. Good amount. Uh, how fond are you of like your combo tree? Like, what do you know, or what do you usually go for in terms of damage when it comes to comboing with Lucas?
Um, a lot of times I start with up air because
Okay.
it's like pretty safe on shield. It's like
Right.
-2, and if I hit it, I get like another up air on like most characters that are like decently big. like Mario or taller,
Mhm.
I can just combo up air into itself, and it's good for mixing up because I can just empty hop and then grab. And I know how that like I know how double jump cancel Zairs work. I do have trouble ending them sometimes. Like if I hit you with like 5 double jump cancel Zairs, I'll like miss the
You just
final
fix them.
launcher hit, like the dash attack or whatever people use.
Mhm.
But I know how to chain them together, and I know pretty much how to combo Nair into stuff depending on SDI and that kind of stuff. So like you can
Do
get
you wa
Nair into Nair.
do you watch any Lucas's?
Yeah, I watch there's like 8 Mitsuki from Japan, Remy, Crits. I watch a lot of them. I also watched Web JP before he switched to Zero Suit.
Mhm.
So there's a couple of them that I know.
Okay, good. Well, from our first match, I can tell that you're definitely not a bad player, and you know what you're doing. But like you said, your main issues are just neutral. So I think the biggest issue for you is patience. It sounds like it. So I want you to try and wait more. Wait and understand your opponent better, because you're taking too much time to think about what you should be doing, but you're not really analyzing your opponent to the fullest degree, I feel. Like you're thinking way too much, but you're not thinking about the right things. Does that make sense to you?
Mm,
So try this next match, and I just want you to look at me. Not the whole time, look at yourself too. Think about what you want to do, think about what you think I want to do, and try and work around it. You have the tools to do it, so I just want you to try and practice it, okay?
hmm
All right. Good read. So one thing that's a little bit bothersome to me is you have a bad habit of doing the same thing from ledge each time. I kept jabbing to see what you would do, and most of the time you would either jump or double jump back to the left side. So I need you to work on that more because you have a lot of options, and if even just doing things like rolling or doing get up attack would be much better because you'll either get me off you or you'll have the chance to put me in a further disadvantage than you already are. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So you did good that match, a lot better than the last match. I just need you to mix it up a little bit more. Your mix-ups are important, and the reason why mix-ups work the way they do is because you're trying to get inside of your opponent's head and understand what they're comfortable with. So when you break that down and take them out of their comfort zone, then it's much harder for them to play. When you break yourself down and take yourself out of your own comfort zone and work on doing things that you're not comfortable with yet, but get a feel for to be more comfortable with, you'll feel a lot better because like you'll think, oh, okay, well, normally here I would double jump and do an up air to start a combo, but if that gets red, then I'm back off stage, and then the cycle continues. Or I'll just get ledge shot more. But if I get up attack here, he's back to center stage. I have the chance to get back in neutral, and then we reset neutral, and then I'm not in disadvantage like I would be. It's small things like that, small little interactions that could either save you a stock or a lot of damage, or a game. Because I feel like every interaction counts. So at any given moment, you could just die. But if you're working, put yourself in a better position to avoid things like that or avoid taking a lot of damage, then you're already doing much better. So let's try that again. But I want you to try your best to mix up your options in any scenario, whether you tech, whether you get up on ledge, whatever it may be. I just want you to mix it up. Okay?
Hmm.
Are you? Oh, by the way, I just want to make sure I always ask, but I'm not going too fast for you. Am I like is everything clear and understandable?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. I just want to make sure because people take in things differently, so I want to just make sure I'm suiting the comfort for other people. You got to be a little bit more careful right there. You overcommitted. Good forward tilt. I was much better right there what you did, because you did get up attack, or no, you did regular get up instead to mess up my timing, because I assumed you would jump again. But since you knew that, you did something different and you put me in disadvantage. See how that works?
Hmm.
It's a really big mental game. So when you can get the mental upper hand on your opponent and understand what you're doing wrong before they do, then that's what'll help you a lot more in neutral. You need to understand yourself better than they understand you, and quicker too. And you also need to try to understand what they want to do before they do. So the faster you can do that and the more you can process information like that and think about it, but not to the point to where it's like straining your mind and killing you throughout the match, is the more you'll improve at the neutral game. No one will ever have the perfect neutral, but the way to practice it is just by taking time to analyze yourself through, I'd say, VODs if you have any. I'd say replays that you save from really good games, really long grind sessions, analyzing your opponents through grind sessions and VODs, of course, seeing what they did better than you did, and just going over everything that you are confused on. Because I guarantee you, if you were confused on why you lost a set, if you rewatch it, you'll start to see why you lost. Because you might be thinking to yourself, why did I do that? Or why did this happen? Or why did I fall for that? You fell for it because probably you were under nerves and you were thinking about what could go wrong. You need to think about how the possibility to win is still prevalent. Okay? You can't lose sight of that because the moment you do is the moment you lose the mental game. And that makes it a lot harder to win. So, your mentality is the first thing I want you to focus on. I want you to tell yourself each time you're in a game, no matter how far down you are, I still have a stock. I'm going to do my best. And even if I lose, then that's how it is. Because you ever lose at something or you ever fail and you did your best, like just the best you could, and you just feel like shit because your best wasn't enough? Have you ever felt like that
Hmm.
before?
Yeah.
I want you to tell I want to tell you why you shouldn't beat yourself up when you do your best and you fail. Because your best is not something that's limited. Your best is something that is always getting better. Just because we say the word best doesn't mean that's it. Your best is something that improves with you. It's improvision. It's how life works. You did your best when you didn't know how to play this game and you lost. But then a week later, you did your best when you knew how to play it a little bit better and you won some more because your best improved. So your best is something that always grows with you. It's not something that ever like caps or stalemates somewhere lower than you want it to be. It's as far as you want to take it. So, with that in mind, I just want you to keep in mind that no matter how hard you try, even if you fail, that's fine. It's great to take failures. It teaches you things. Just remember that as you progress as a competitor and a player, or anything really in life, you're either winning or you're learning. Okay?
Hmm.
Try to keep that mindset because it'll save you a lot of stress when you take losses and it'll help you improve generally. Look back at this VOD later, this stream VOD, and remember these words because they're important. Like I guarantee, as long as you keep this with you and remember it, and try to not let yourself get flustered in scenarios where you feel like you shouldn't be, it'll help a lot. And another thing, take breaks from this game, please. Like, take your time with playing this. Don't feel like you have to force yourself to get on. Don't feel like you have to play all hours of the day just to improve. That's not how it works. The mental game is the biggest part of this game. So if your mentality's fried and you're burnt out, then you're just going to be pushing buttons, wishing it was already over, and you're not going to learn anything. It's going to hurt, and it's going to be a waste of productivity and time. So take your time to enjoy other things, eat more food, go out more, talk to your friends more, play different video games, stream different things like that, things that you enjoy. Smile a little more. And I guarantee when you come back to this game, practice your execution every now and then, maybe an hour a day, maybe something that you just want to keep down. But when you start playing and grinding again, you'll feel better because breaks help. So I can tell that you're already doing better. You're starting to mix up your options a lot more. You lost that match, but that doesn't mean that you're not improving or not learning anything that I'm teaching you. It just means that like I'm doing the same thing. Like you see the whole way I'm playing, I'll whiff a few things to see how I react, and you do the optimal punish. You forward tilted me at ledge because it was the quickest thing. If you down smashed me, I would have made it back and I would just get up attacked you. You edge guarded me properly. I just didn't miss the tech, or I missed the tech and I was upstage, and then you were already ready to set up an edge guard if I recovered, because I was recovering, and you thought I was gonna make it back. You were already to two frame with me of four tilt, your fastest option. And then you saw I was dead. You retreated back to the neutral, and then you waited for me to come down. You got away from me because I had invincibility, and then you played neutral with me. You're doing it right. You can't play perfect all the time, but over time you will improve. Don't worry about how long it takes and how slow you are at improving or whatever. Just remember that it will happen, and try not to be as flustered when it comes to certain things. Like that's another thing I wanted to ask you. Is there any matchup or character that really irks you or frustrates you?
Um, the two biggest ones that come to mind are Game and Watch and Rob because
Okay,
of just how fast they are, like with their
right.
tools.
Yeah. I definitely get that. So my recommendation here is you've played Robs and Game and Watches before, right?
Yeah.
Have you won against any of them, or have you just lost against all of them?
Um, I've won some, but like when we do like friendly sessions, like I used to be in a Wi-Fi crew with a Rob player,
Yeah,
and we went like he would win like 70% of the time. So it wasn't like I was getting bodied, like I was getting two stocked every game, but it was like pretty obvious that he knew more about me than I knew about him.
right. Be honest, was it frustrating?
Yeah.
I'll tell you now, you were too busy being mad when you could have been using that time to look at what he's doing. So now that you know that, and now that you understand to do that, as you get better at doing so, you'll get better as a player. You understand what I'm telling you?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. So another thing is even if you learn a matchup, that's perfectly fine. But I want you to understand, of course, that even though you may know a matchup inside out, no matter how much you know a matchup, you'll never know a player until you get there. So you need to be able to understand the player in that moment. That's why I'm telling you the things I told you before on analyzing them and yourself. Because when you do that, since you already know how the characters work, then you won't have any issues there. You'll know what to expect. But when you analyze what they're doing, you'll know what to expect from them too. So you can work around the character's tools and their own, option select. You get it?
Hmm.
Cool. So we got some time. Was there anything that you're curious about before we continue matches, or any type of question you had for me?
Um, I don't think so. Okay, I got one.
Okay.
So, do you think my usage of Zera and PK Fire are too little, too much, or just right?
Too little. I think that your usage of Zaire needs to be polished a bit more, and you need to be recovering more with Zaire when you know you can, because there's a lot of characters in this game that cannot exploit your Zaire. It is far too quick, and if they can, then it's like very frame perfect. So I need you to take advantage of that more for me, okay?
Hmm.
Take advantage of that more and work on mixing up your ledge options when you're getting back onto the stage. And also, your PK fire usage is a little bit lackluster. I think you're using it a little too lowly. You need to use more of it. I know people complain about it. I know it's an annoying tool, but it's a great neutral tool nonetheless. You need to focus on using that to your advantage when you can. And remember, the more you're frustrating your opponent, you're not trying to be a dick. Like, you're not just trying to be that asshole that wants to make everybody mad. You're just generally trying to win. So if your opponent is mad, that's not your fault. That's their fault.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm telling you?
Yeah, I
It's
got it.
like when people complain and they're like, "Oh my God, Rob back through me and fucking arm rotated me at zero and I died." Like that's stupid. Of course, I agree that is stupid, but at the same time, you jumped into it.
Yeah.
You died because you made a mistake, whether it was at zero or 100. You're gonna get mad either way. You died to it because it was your fault. When you can acknowledge your faults and know to do better and work on doing better, you as a player become better as a whole with any character that you play. So just remember that, okay?
Yeah.
All right. So remember, use a little bit more PK fire when you know you have to and you can, and also polish your Zaire usage too. Your Zaire usage off stage when recovering, and also when attacking to get like multiple um, instant Zaires. Okay.
Hmm.
All right. Let's keep going. Again, everything's clear so far, right? Like I haven't really
Yeah.
gone too far or anything. Okay, cool. Cool. you're playing better now.
I don't know how I feel about
Also,
that,
no,
considering you lost the first stock at like 15, but
that's fine. Even if I did that, or I lost first stock really early, I'm still playing to the best that I could during the match. That's what's important. I lost, but I understood why I lost, and now I feel like I can play better. The confidence is there, and it's something that you need to hold on to. Be like that, okay?
mhm.
Don't stress yourself too much. Be more like, be more calm. As calm as you can be, while still understanding that you're in a high tense situation. And if you're more calm than your opponent, then chances are you can work around their flaws better than they can work around yours. So let's keep going for now. I'm sorry, that was loud.
It's fine.
Good. That's another small habit that you have. It's not nearly as bad. Like, it's really not. I've seen people that do it like non-stop, but you don't do it that much. But I feel like I know when you are gonna do, which is enough for you to try and like fix it. you're spot dodging a little too much. So what you could be doing differently is you could be challenging what I'm about to do to read it with either an attack or a roll away if my attack is too much to challenge. So let's say I'm gonna like knee like I did right there. You could have just nared me and you would have been safe and the match would have kept going till either of us won. So in small scenarios like that, try and spot dodge less when you feel like you shouldn't. Like just try and work around things. So you were perfectly fine there. You hit me with something that was safe. You could have escaped. You could have done a lot, but don't resort to the option that puts you in disadvantage in that moment. Okay.
Hmm.
So I want to test something about you. Let's just do a quick set real quick. Let's do a best of 5. And I'm going to switch characters every single game. I want to see how quickly you can adapt to the way I play and to the way my characters work. So I'm going to play 3 different characters, or multiple depending on how long the set goes. And when neither of us wins is when we win, okay? So let's
Hmm.
just see how you do. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and let all traditional tourney rules take place. And let's just say we did heads, tails, whatever you won. Choose your first stage. I'll go random. We'll go to your stage. I'm going Falcon.
Okay, do you want
And
to
you're
do?
playing.
Are we doing PS2?
Sure. Whatever you want.
Okay.
All right. I want to try this on you because people will do this in bracket. Whether it's offline or online, they will switch between characters just to try and throw you off. You're doing a whole lot better. I see you're mixing up things a lot more. Right there, what I just did, that was a soul call out. Just because, like, I'm used to people doing that from ledge. And it's rare, it rarely happens, but sometimes I can just feel it. It doesn't really make sense to say, but that's just how I feel. So, now that I won, you get stage kind of pick, so you could either take me back to PS2, or you could choose another stage that you prefer.
I'm gonna stick with PS2.
Okay. I banned Smashville and Kalos anyway. What? Today, no.
You want some chicken broccoli Alfredo with some stuffy?
Yeah, sure. Good adaptation.
Thank you. Okay, so I got a ban now. I'm gonna ban Yoshi's in Battlefield.
Okay. Let's go ahead and go to FD. this is a very scary situation for both players because I'm in heavy advantage. So when people get there, a lot of people will be like, what if I lose this? How embarrassing is that going to be? And you almost won. You won because, or you almost won because you were adapting really hard to my options. This is a pretty bad matchup for you, in my opinion. So the fact that you were able to adapt that quickly shows me that you could probably make the next match even in your own game. It's back and forth between players. So when you focus more on your own adaptation as a player, depending on the other player, whoever has the better adaptation will be probably the victor. Because even if I'm playing this character and you're at an already disadvantage, just because you know me and you know what the character does, that doesn't matter too much because you know how to work around what puts you in the hard disadvantage and deficits that you don't want to be in. That makes sense, right?
Mhm.
So it's like you're fighting someone hand-to-hand combat, you win. Next time they bring a gun, but you know how a gun works, and you know that you have walls that you can run behind, and you have to respect it a lot, and then you can corner them. It's a really complicated situation, and it's scary, but it applies to Smash whenever you're like, okay, let's say you're fighting a hard sword character like Cloud, right, or Lucina. You're just getting disjointed left and right. Play a little slower. Use your projectiles. You have options. You have tools to deal with them. It's like that, not like they're impossible to hit. It just makes it harder. Just because you lose a matchup doesn't mean that you have to lose the game in the set, right?
Mhm.
That, and you can always, work on other characters. Like I encourage you to mess around with characters, experiment with things. It's all up to you. This game is your oyster. You can play whoever you want, do whatever you want. But right now, I just want to make sure that you understand how to play neutral better because neutral is the most important thing when it comes to matching in this game. You can't combat anyone if their neutral is better than yours. So right now, let's play this last character, potentially last. If I win this game, it'll be the set my win your favor or my favor. So let's see how you do. Remember, you're down 2-1. Next game, I win, and you need 2 more games to win. But don't take pressure from that. Just believe in yourself. That was good. Were you expecting a roll right there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. That was good too, because that read attempt, even if you missed, you would have still been safe because your forward smash doesn't have much lag on it, so that was good. You adapted pretty well too, even though I took the first stock and I put you at a disadvantage where you're not comfortable. When you're already at a heavy disadvantage in the set, you still adapted. See how much better you're playing now that you're not trying to think too much about what's going wrong and think about what you could do better.
Mhm.
And now we're even, just like that. Next game wins it. We're tied up. And you've been adapting to different characters the whole time. So that goes to show that you are improving already, which is great. So let's go ahead and use the last character, and we'll see how you do. Remember, this is the part that determines the most important, like, lesson. Whether you lose or win, you either learn something or you won, right?
Mhm. You gonna go back
Great.
to FD?
So, sure, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Let's go ahead and leave it.
Well, I can't put it on top of that.
I know, just take it off. I don't know what stick you're talking about. What stick?
Yikes.
GG's.
GG's.
So, from that match, can you tell me anything that you did learn?
I know that when people throw holy water at the edge, I could PK freeze it, and I know that
Mhm.
side B has enough lag for me to punish, like on
Right.
startup.
Right, you started doing that, I noticed. I almost lost that match, but you got an unlucky body block push, so just remember, not everything is entirely your fault, but you can always do things better next time, okay?
Mhm.
So as a quick rundown, I taught you more about neutral, how to understand it better, what to do in neutral in terms of like understanding yourself and your opponent, the option select that you have with your tools and the opponent's tools, and pretty much everything in between. When it comes to your disadvantage, I already talked to you about the rope snake and the uppy and all that stuff that you could do. You know how to utilize those tools, but from what I could say about that, you could put yourself in a lesser disadvantage by air dodging at correct times. Like, don't waste an air dodge immediately if you don't think that they're going to try and attack you. If they're wailing on you, then use it to get away from them and get off stage so that way they can't challenge you, and if they do, then they might die for it. But if you know that they're going to wait for you and try and edge guard you with, like, like say Richter's down angled whip, then you can air dodge that, get away, and be in an area where your recovery is unexploitable. So then it comes to the ledge trapping phase, which is already past the edge guarding. So you've won one part. Now it's time to get to the next. And then you know to do that because you can wait things out. You can mix up your options. You can not do one thing from ledge every single time and do different things to get different results, right?
Mm-hmm.
So neutral, ledge trapping, habits, usage of different tools that you have, everything and all that was covered today. You have the stream bot to review everything. If you forget anything, you can always DM me and ask me things. Remember, if you have any issues with matchups or things like that, just feel free to DM me and talk to me. I won't charge you for anything. You could ask me, how do I do this? How do I do this? What works here? What do you think could I be doing different here? You could send me VODs and I can review them for you. I won't charge you for any of that. But if you want more sessions like this, then I will be charging you, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Great. Were there any last minute questions or things that you were concerned about? Any critique for me as a coach personally?
No, I don't think so. Actually, like, I learned a lot from this. I'm probably gonna, what I did before was, I don't know if you know him, but Popped1 on YouTube, you know him?
Mhm.
Yeah, I watched his Mind Up videos, and I had this little black notebook that I take all my notes in. So I'm probably gonna do the same thing with this stream. Like, I'm gonna go back and write down all the tips and stuff, and then watch the VODs and
Mhm.
see stuff. Cause like I know when I fought the Cloud, I hit you with like up air or like nair up air or something, and I thought you were gonna
Mhm.
jump, so I jumped and up aired again, but you landed and up
Right.
smashed me.
Mhm.
So I'm thinking like I'm probably gonna have to like magnet or something to stall and wait for the up smash and then punish it, but I'm gonna have to watch it again.
Yes,
So I'm
perfect. You're already shadowboxing. You're putting yourself in scenarios that you either lost it or are imagining, and you're wondering how you could do it better. That's great. Keep doing that, and I promise it'll pay off. Okay.
hmm
Great. So, was there anything else? Anything you wanted to tell me before we go ahead and end off?
um no, I think that's it. Just wanted to thank you.
Oh yeah, no problem. Thank you for taking my lessons.
hmm